I'm sure you've heard the phrase, "we're made of stardust," but what does that mean? How does a star's demise lead to life? These questions might sound very unanswerable and perplexing to many, but thanks to our curiosity, we do have answers to these questions. I'm Hamza Ijaz and you're watching ASTROBITES. Let's dig deeper. Our earliest ancestors were just as smart as us, but they couldn't answer the questions they asked owing to their lack of knowledge and equipment, but not curiosity. They wondered what the stars were and what they were made of. They came up with ideas, some of them were very compelling, others not so much, but creative nonetheless. As we evolved as a species and discovered more wonders of the universe, we realized that stars and planets were in actual fact not gods, that stars are balls of gases that lie at great distances from our home planet, and that the sun is just another star floating in an enormous sea of stars. The universe got bigger and so did our horizons. To comprehend what we were talking about today better, we must journey far back in time, to the moment the cosmos itself came into existence and time began. Atomic nuclei, protons and neutrons were the first particles that were born. Hydrogen was the first element whose nucleus consists of only one proton. Soon enough, the temperature of the universe dropped to 1 billion degrees, at which neutrons started to decay into more protons. But if that kept on happening, there would have been only one element left in the universe, hydrogen. But soon, some neutrons and protons combined to form another element, helium. The universe continued to expand, it cooled, and in some regions allowed matter to coalesce, which gave birth to stars and eventually galaxies. The first generation of stars was much hotter and bigger than our sun, and some amazing events were about to take place in their course. As we know it, stars fuse hydrogen into helium and helium into heavier elements like oxygen and carbon later in their lives. Carbon does wonderful things. It can form stable, complex molecules. The elements cooked in the cores of the stars are in fact the raw material of life. And after millions of years of preparation, they were now ready. Life on Earth is carbon-based, things are starting to make sense now. But how did those elements make their way out of the cores? Well, they died in bright, gigantic explosions called supernovae. We can have a better understanding of this phenomenon by traveling 4.6 billion years back in time, to the moment the sun was born. Our solar system was once barely a gas cloud inside a nebula, contaminated with dust. All the ingredients of life and planets and comets were there in the corpse of a star. When the temperature in the midst of the collapsing cloud was high enough to kickstart the process of nuclear fusion, the sun was born. The dawns that we are so deeply fond of began at that moment in time. Elements like carbon, silicon and oxygen, which were present in scanty amounts, formed small particles that assembled over time and made the planets. The high temperature made it impossible for the terrestrial planets to retain the hydrogen and helium that was present in the nebula. But farther from the sun, the planets were able to do this. I think that makes it very clear that we were indeed born from the ashes of a star. It can be hard to imagine, but that's the beauty of it. Reality is much stranger than fiction. Stars are by many definitions alive. They're born, they reproduce, and they die. And as Carl Sagan once said, the stars were their children. Here's one more concise quote of his which defines our relationship with the stars perfectly. The nitrogen in our DNA, the calcium in our teeth, the iron in our blood, the carbon in our apple pies were made in the interiors of collapsing stars. Sometimes, I imagine creating a time machine and visiting the star that made us. And I don't just see a bright ball of gas, I see a father. And I see fate being written in its core.